Hello, hello. For Had to reset the timer there because I realized I was a little bit off with my estimate of how close I was to being ready. What are these weird power pole replacements? I don't. Maybe depends how new it is. Then no. If I'm being honest, I don't follow any percent at all or care that much or talk about it. So yeah, we don't we don't really do. Yeah. So we're doing burner stuff. We got the mall mostly finished, although it is a little bit messy, so I would like to clean it up. Also, there's no sound. There's very little sound. At first, with non-believers, you meant Dune, or rather Dunk. What? At first, with non-believers, he thought I meant Dune. Who said non-believers? Did I say non-believers somewhere? I don't remember saying that at all. Oh, I forgot that's what I had in the. Thank you. I didn't realize you'd seen that, so I was a little bit confused. Is Dune what? Wait, okay. So now the second question: what does non-believers have to do with Dune? Is that what they refer to, like some people from in the movie or book? I guess they're both probably. But yeah, this is the mall. It's not terrible. It could be better. It could definitely be better. Okay, so this part's fairly all right. This is gonna suck to build by hand. This splitter is good because grabbing from a splitter is not great. I don't know about Dune. You're about to spew some random sounding stuff. I watched the movie. I watched the first movie with like 80% attention. That is my understanding of. That's all I know about it. And I know his name is not Timothy Oliphant. It's Timothy Chalamet or something, and it's spelled also really, really weird. But I always say Timothy Oliphant. You don't know about Doom? Are you not talking about the? What are you talking about? You're talking about Dune, yeah. I mean, I've only seen the recent movie and not the sequel to it yet. I have not read the books at all, and I haven't seen like the OG one. How dare you not give it 100p when watching? I'm sorry. I have trouble paying attention to movies. I can only. That's why I really wanted to see the second one in theaters because that's like the only way I can force myself to not have my phone on me at all. I'm getting better about it, but I basically have to set my phone in another room if I want to give a movie 100%. Um, cool. Glad this is still broken. Okay, so yeah, this is a mess, and I hate it. But okay, what if I think about it this way? Right now, I'm thinking about it in one part, right? And this isn't a one part build. This is this section, and then it's this section. So this is the only part that has to be like really nice. Everything else is gonna suck, but it's not as important. What are you missing for the base? Well, the mall is a mess. and I haven't done satellite automation. I think that's the only thing I'm missing. I'm gonna have to go through the list again to make sure there aren't any like achievements that require me to build something. Oh, I yeah, flamers. Also oil. I don't have any form of solid fuel production in my main base. So we're missing placing refineries everywhere, which I'm not too concerned with. That's fairly easy, but we're missing all refineries. Our mall is a little bit messy. It's not terrible, but could be better. And we're missing satellites. Everything else is just... We could possibly use a little bit more of things, but we won't know. Like, all of this stuff, we don't really... isn't really accurate. Or this is a list of things we might need to do. So let's add things I know for sure we need to do. So what did I say? Clean up mall. Well, that's not even a for sure thing. Satellites. Okay. Did I say anything else? Oh, oil. Solid fuel. Solid fuel literally everywhere. Okay, and then I also said clean up, which now that I say that, clean up the mall isn't really a for sure thing. Clean up the mall. I also need to watch Dean 2. I do really want to see that one. Because, like, I thought the first one was a bit slow, but I also was mostly watching it for Zendaya. And I'm guessing she's in the second one more. I don't know for sure, but that's my assumption. But of course, now that I've seen manga, I really like Timothy, not Oliphant. So I feel like I would like him even more now if I were to rewatch it. So I might rewatch the first one sometime. And now if I watch it with 20% attention, we add it together, then it's 100%. If you found Dune 1 at least fine, you will like the second one. If you love Dune, you'll find the second one incredible. Okay, that's perfect. I would say I found the first one fine. A little bit better than fine. Fine sounds really like I really didn't like it. But yeah, I would... Okay. Okay, cool. Then that means it's definitely worth looking into the second one then. Because I definitely found it pretty alright. Just a little bit slower than I expected, honestly. I think if I was prepared for a slower movie, I would have probably liked it. I just wasn't in, like, the mindset for, like, a mostly visual story. Also, did these work well? Yeah, they work alright. Okay, can we clean this up? Technically, I can make this easier to build, but I lose the ability to have outputs, so I guess I can't really make it easier to build. If I change the order around, I have a lot more flex. Honestly, I don't care about flexibility for the rotation. This is done with blueprints. Well, okay, it's not built with blueprints, but it's because like, let's say if I were doing just like a casual run or something, I would probably want, if I'm making this kind of shape, I would want this rotation to have a lot of flexibility to where I can just rotate it literally anywhere, like either here or here or here or here or here. So I would want it as far away from the actual, like, not the goods, but the meat of the sushi as I could. But since this is done with blueprints, I have to rotate it exactly where it goes, otherwise the blueprints will scream at me. So that changes things. That's an interesting build. Yeah, I don't know if I love it, but I didn't really love any of the designs. Does fish qualify as meat? I'm not sure. I was just using expression, but now that once I said that, I started to think that too. Is fish meat? I think it is. No. It's one of those things where if you say you don't eat meat, you probably also include fish. But if you were saying your party had meat and someone gave you fish, you'd probably be pretty sad. You probably would be unhappy with them. So it's like this weird... It's like this weird middle ground. Not even like a square rectangle thing. It's like a situational rectangle. Which is... I don't know. Is there a better way to describe that? But it's like sometimes it is. It depends which words you're using that day. But yeah, the idea here, it waits for coal to be fully saturated, not fully saturated on the belt, but it makes sure coal is across from it. And the reason we're doing it this way is because it's really, really hard to get enough inserters for these to run. Like, really terrible. So I imagine we have like a disproportionate amount of things that are being used. So at some point we'll need like a full red chip build or a full red build running. Sometimes we'll need this running full speed. So the idea here is to hopefully just get a lot more of inserters than I reasonably could otherwise. Also, it has the possibility to eventually use like 1.5 2 gears per second, or 1.5 to 2 half belt. 1 to 2 half belts. I was saying half at the wrong time and got really confused. I don't love this part, but again, this happens later, so I think I'm okay with that, because this happens after we have Gotlap. As long as the complex builds happen after Gotlap, I'm okay. Because let's look at it. Let's look at it in a vacuum. Maybe vacuum's the wrong word. Let's look at it as this is what I build first. We have this. It goes straight through. We have to put 2 splitters, but that's not bad. This gets sideloaded. Okay, that's very easy. This thing supplements later, so I'm fine with that. It's not really prioed, which I don't love, but I think because of this prio, it doesn't really matter much. We'll probably be okay. Yeah, that should be fine. So this is fairly easy to build. We do have to add the splitters, but we need those regardless of if we have this wonky thing on the side. Okay, so this is a bunch of straight drags. I don't love this, but it's not really harder to do. That's the thing. So like this makes it that the gears can run faster. This makes it that the gears can run a lot faster, and it doesn't really have downsides. Because if these brown out, the world doesn't end. We still have these. And then we can add circuit logic to all of them to make them safe too. So yeah, this it adds a little bit of time, but it adds like half a second, maybe a second, because it just turns this into. Okay, maybe it adds. Oh wait, my sensitivity is too high. That's why things felt weird. Why don't I have that as command? There we go. There we go. Just because that's what it makes me think of. Hello, Tice. Okay. So these are straight lines. A couple splitters here or there. Not awful. No weird turns that I have to do. I do have to do this one. Honestly, I don't have to do that one. But this isn't that complicated. Okay, so now we're continuing through. Let's look at the green chip part of things. Okay, we're going to have like a huge gap here, which is weird. Would it be easier to swap the two? I feel like no. Ordinarily, the green chip build, or the copper lane, if you have it directly next to an iron lane, it goes in a straight line to copper with like a normal, like if you have a more standard wire to green chip design. However, burners make things larger, so things don't line up like that so easily. This base would be so much fun if we had murder inserters. It would be fun. I don't think it would really change anything, but I like the idea of it. Okay, so this goes straight, it goes down, then it goes through. Okay, so that's fairly easy. Nothing, no weird builds. And then just to get things started, let's see. This thing's a little weird. This one's a little weird. What if I do this? Build speed wise, that's faster, more consistent. I think that's a good idea. Because this is smart belt capable now, right? Okay, I think that's an option. Not the end of the world if it doesn't work. You can't rotate things with blueprints, right? No. Unfortunate. I was just hoping for options if we accidentally built something wrong. I guess if we build this wrong, the base doesn't run. Like, I'm concerned about it, but this is literally red science. If this doesn't work, we don't get logistics. Well, we'd probably already have. We won't get Gotlap if this doesn't work. So like I'm not. I don't need to be concerned. Okay. So this is fairly straightforward. This is a little bit straightforward. Um, left, left, left. I let's see. Left, left, left. Right, right, right. Okay. Yeah, that's manageable. Okay. That leaves one other thing. Oh, you know what I could do for the inputs? I could delete these. Or not delete these, but I can build these a lot later fairly safely and just do like one colon to each of them to start if I was very concerned with Gotlap. That will allow me to skip a lot of weird undergrounds. Okay. So that's straightforward. This is straightforward. I don't see anything that weird with the undergrounds anywhere here. The only thing weird in this starting spot is this and these, but those are very important for the build speed of this. Actually, I don't even know. They might not be important. Honestly, I might not need these at all. You expect I won't try for bot lap? Oh, we're gonna try. We'll be like an hour or two short, but we're gonna try. One can dream, right? One can dream. God, burner inserters are awful. My estimate for bots is like 3 hours. Maybe 2.5. I don't know. I don't know how I'll be feeling that day, but I imagine 3 hours is definitely doable. 2.5 probably. Anything less than that, I think, is would require a lot of practice, just because of how bad burners are. Okay, that looks good. I don't know what that belt is. Oh, that's just a test build. Belt. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so those look good. That looks good. This part, this is gonna that sucks. I can't think of any other way to phrase that. This is terrible. But it's important, so we need it. So what's the build order here? Oh god, the build order here is awful. I mean, we're gonna live. We obviously will live with it. It's gonna be fine. But you know, I don't think there is a good build order here. I think this one's just gonna be painful to build. If I don't want it to have twice the, it's basically I have two choices, right? If I wanted it to be easy to build, we have double the assembling machines because things run so much slower. That's effectively what it boils down to. Double the assembly machines is also slower to build. So switching to, let's say, place an underground by hand, not that big of a deal compared to having to build a whole other one of these. So like my decision makes sense, but it is a bit rough. Now this isn't perfectly consistent. I might put logic on these. Can I guarantee this is going to be half a belt? Let's do okay, I think what I'll do, we'll do read, hold. We'll make it that this only activates if coal is greater than 6. Coal is greater than coal. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. I think this will work. This will make it that we just need a decent amount of coal density. And this should make it that it's fairly safe going through. Like it's pretty safe regardless, just because of how little coal, how little stuff will be moving at this point in the run, and we can always hand feed this early. But this doesn't add a ton of overhead, so I figured I might as well. If we could read the entire belt, that would be... Actually, I don't know if reading an entire belt would be good in this situation, now that I think about it. Does anybody remember when the expansion comes out? Is reading the belt... I know it's stopped by splitters. Is it stopped by undergrounds? No, I think it's stopped by splitters and side loads. I think those were the two. So yeah, if I read the whole belt, it would read the whole belt, which would be actually quite bad. So apparently reading the whole belt isn't always ideal. So hopefully it's optimal. Optimal, optional. Okay, so back to this. This is okay. This should definitely be here. Or the other way around. No, we'll do this one first. You don't know. Yeah, I don't. It was a long shot considering it's a feature that doesn't exist. Factorio, read, hold, belt, fax. Hold belt reader. Okay, let's see. Splitter. Is broken by splitter and side loading onto belts. It looks like it does go through undergrounds. Okay, that's cool. Also, the graphics for it are so nice. Like, I absolutely love how they look. Although, I would still have to do this kind of stuff for sushi. So maybe it's not perfect. But it's better. I will say it's better. Okay, so this is fine. Honestly, this part, if I ignore these, like, if I ignore the stone belt on the top, this actually doesn't look that bad. I do want to change this priority, though, because this is built later. Actually, I want to change... Ooh. I want to change all the priorities. Because, like, realistically, I don't need 2 burner inserters right away. So let's move this. We're actually just going to undo it. We need a burner inserter pretty much. The thing is, we don't really need... Honestly, we don't really need an extra belt, though. That's the thing. Like, do I really need the extra belts? Possibly, but probably not right away. Because it won't take that long for this to back up. Oh, except these are consuming all the belt. Yeah, we do need the belt assembler earlier. Hello, Dekevo. Welcome, welcome. It's going pretty good. I feel like we're pretty close to finishing the base. Like, we have to refine a lot of it, but I feel like we have most things we need, which is awesome. That's very exciting. It means this might actually happen at some point. Okay, so 1 burner inserter should be fine. How did... How did that get in that chest? What? 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 How'd that happen? Is there like a tick where the burner inserter gets placed first and it grabbed from the ground? This doesn't make sense to me. I did paste it all at once, right? That happened? I've never seen that before. This is really weird. I feel like I missed something and it's confusing me. Let's see what's happening here. You know what? I guess we'll figure it out. No, we'll look into it later. I don't know how I could reproduce it either. That's so bizarre. This burner inserter wasn't there, right? Oh, did I wait, did I copy this over? Is that what happened? Was this burner inserter already there? And just holding a... No, that would be weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite know. Okay, so 1 of each makes a lot more sense early on. 1 of each, and then we get the extras. There we go. That should be fine. Then if I really want to... Now, this does use extra... that's gonna use extra. Might as well plan for it. Might as well have this there because I know Smart Belt is gonna make it place these, so... Even though, obviously, this is unnecessary, it's not... I'm not going to remember to place those by hand, and then I'll have... Well, I guess it won't be screaming at me the whole time in the blueprint. So it's not the end of the world, but might as well accept my flaws right away, right? What time is it? Oh, I need to go feed... I need to go feed the dog real quick. I'll be right back. It should be the last day we need to... should be the last day we're dog sitting for a while. Fortunately, I'll still get to see them plenty, but won't have to stop 30 minutes in stream to go take care of them. No, they're good. They have a bit of a window. So I'll be back in like 5 minutes, maybe. Probably less. It depends how it goes. Also, hello, high speed. Perfect time. I'll be back in a jiff. Hello. Okay, we're good. We are good. Hello, Jin. Welcome, welcome. There we go. Okay. So dogs are fed. Hopefully my schedule is normal now, or at least more normal. Because that was definitely making the last like week or so a little bit wonkier than normal. Also, I'm just getting used to my new exercise regime, so that's also been helping. So hopefully we can go back to like streaming a consistent time, or at least fairly consistent. Because it's way easier when I stream at a consistent time for sure. Okay, so this looks good. There isn't really a pattern with how I'm placing the inserter chests. So let's make one. Ooh. This doesn't work. This works. Because that could sideload. That could sideload, which would be bad. Definitely would be bad. And that's why we're double checking them all right now. Okay, so which makes more sense to me? I feel like output on the left makes more sense to me. I know it doesn't really make a difference, but I want it to be consistent. So that way I can build a little bit more quickly. I say output on the left makes more sense, and literally none of them have it on the left. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, this is a long-running challenge. Are you aiming for the 15-hour achievement? We're aiming for every achievement. That includes the 8-hour one. Beating the game is a lot easier than getting every achievement, though, which is why the time goal is so much higher than the speedrun achievements. Because all you have to do to get the speedrun achievement is to beat the game in 8 hours. And that only includes launching the rocket, which is a very, very manageable goal. If I place this one over, can underbelt... Okay, that does work, but only if I build it fast. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Cool. But yeah, we're aiming for all the achievements. There are a few you can get that sound conflicting, but you're able to get if you do things in the right order. So this is just launching a rocket, right? But then this requires you to not use which ones? Oh, solar power. This one requires you to not use solar power. But then this one requires you to use solar power. So they're a little bit conflicting. So the goal is to just beat the game, launch a rocket without solar power, and then you go and do the achievements that were conflicting. So that includes this one. It might just be that one. I think there's one more. I guess this one wouldn't be conflicting. It just would be really weird to do without it. Because you can do these. You can do these ones. Okay, I guess that's the only one. But yeah. He can't do 8 hours? I mean, I have to do 8 hours. Not the whole run, but 8 hours should be trivial. Well, I say trivial. We've designed the base. Our goal for launching the rocket is like 4 or 5 hours. 8 hours for everything, definitely not possible because of computer limitations. I think you're going off burner hundo. Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about different things. When everyone says beating the game, they're not referring to finishing the challenge. They're referring to launching a rocket in this circumstance. You know, I can easily, if I didn't have blueprints, easily would not be the right word there. um, I will say that when I did this blind, it took like 7.5 hours. It was very pushing it. We actually failed once. Because burners are really, really, really bad. Unless you have a very clear base design. Streaking has begun. I feel like that's normally not a good thing, but in this case, nice. Okay, so I think the mall looks fairly clean. I don't like this, but it's definitely better. I say fairly clean. Clean's not the right word. Okay, and then these, they don't have much of a priority, but they do have some priority they should be on. Burners are bad regardless of design. That is true, but you can do things to make them less bad, and that's what matters. Why did I rotate that? I think there used to be something at the end. Is this editor extensions? No. Editor extensions conflicts with... it conflicts with staged burners. Stage burner. There's a speedrun. I say speedrun mod. There's a mod that was made for 100% speedrun designs called Staged Blueprint Planning, which is the thing that adds this, and it has conflicts with editor extensions, so I can't use them both. It corrupted my save when I used them both, basically, which was not good. And I had to redo a lot of stuff by hand. So we don't longer have that one. There's not much editor extensions does that I care about. But yeah, we can't use it. A good design just mitigates some of the problems. Yeah, that's fair. It just makes the problems less bad. Okay, can I straighten this out? Because I would absolutely love this to be straighter. That sounds... I don't know, that sounds homophobic. Not... How do I make this belt less curved? There we go. How do you feed coal to everything? Is it always on half the belt? Not usually, and that is because burners are not good at self-feeding. They don't have any prioritization. So if I were to do a casual run, probably yes, everything would be on half the belt. However, if you want to do that with assembling machines, self-feeding generally is not great. We have it in a couple spots, but anytime we have it, it's with very specific designs, like with furnaces, or it has circuit logic on it, like here. And that's because if you have a row of assembly machines and you have half a belt of coal and half a belt of iron, these first ones will work, these last ones will brown out forever. You could probably move the splitter left, this one. Yeah, I don't know what this splitter does. I wasn't sure if it was supposed to go somewhere else. It's not. Okay, yeah, we can just move that left. Good catch. I genuinely just assumed it did something. Okay, so now that means I can do this. Ooh. Oh, that's annoying. I mean, it's not a big deal. It just, I feel like this is almost perfect. But not quite. Um, let's add a tile in between. How do you feed the miners? Miners have a lot. We have a couple different designs for miners. We don't have ore on this base. Let's find one that does. We have a couple. We have a few different ways. Da, 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 finalized outpost. There we go. But yeah, generally speaking, we have a row of coal going through to every design. That's what I call the coal grid. And then everything I hand build is built on the coal grid because it's a good balance of build speed and consistency. And it's not any more expensive than having like a coal splitter everywhere, or at least not noticeably. But it's a lot more consistent. Things work fully. It just overall generally works a little bit better without having to have every single inserter on logic. Because we can't have every inserter on logic. That would take up too much performance overhead. We can have some, but we can't have every one of our 20,000 inserters be on logic like that. Which is why we can't do the self-feeding. So the coal grid is a good middle ground. So this is one of the ways we feed the drills. So this is good for larger outposts where you're moving the ore a long distance, and that's because you obviously want pure belts in this case for long stretches. So we have undergrounds here. It makes them a little bit more compact. It is expensive, but it's worth it. It makes it like it lets you get an entire extra lane basically. We just have a splitter on the top. Very, very annoying to build, but it's all everything's annoying to build, so it's not like it's worse than other designs. This isn't the starting design, but it does work. It works really well with bots too. Super, super good for bots. The other design that we use a lot is like this. This is the best hand build design in my opinion. Especially because if we have a coal, let's pretend this iron is coal, right? We can actually just send the coal straight through like this. So then we don't have to set up any form of splitter, and then the coal at the end can be split off and sent elsewhere if we need. But this can go straight into a furnace lane because now it has iron on one side, coal on the other, and then it gets coal from the lane next to it. So the only downside is you do have to have one splitter on the end of the row, but you only need that for like one and like, 10 rows. So it's a nice balance. And if you build multiple rows at once, you can see the inserters are lined up. So this is very good hand build speed. Practice time, I'm hoping we can start practicing like next week. Next weekend. Because I feel like our base is pretty close. It depends. We also need to refine our base. I think I want to do early game practice before we finalize the base. Just to make sure everything up to bots is okay. Because after that, we have to start... Because I want to make sure bots are okay before I split all of the stages. Because that's going to take a while, and I don't want to do that if everything is awful and non-functional. So these are the two main designs we have. If we go to a coal lane, this one's decent. It's decent and it's self-feeding, and it's fairly consistent. It's not perfectly consistent. You do need to change the one on the end for it to work. But for this one, we do belts first. Because either way, we have to click every time. We don't have any smart belt we can use here. And then we drag all the inserters at the end. Burner 100%. Yeah, that's what it is. Every achievement, only burner inserters. We've been working on the base for a couple months now, at least. I mean, well, okay, we would have been done by now, but we had to cut down the amount of streams we do from this, down from like 4 a week to like 1 to 2. So our time goal, pretty much doubled. Not time to beat it, but our time for how long it should take. 100% botless. I don't think it's as miserable as it sounds. I just don't want to do it. Because, like, the thing is, I would just get to the point where I just walk away. A more interesting thing that was proposed is 100% no inserters, which is also possible. It would be like 50 hours of hand feeding outposts, but it's technically doable. Actually, no, it was more than that. Um, 5,000 times 60. No, yeah, it's okay. No, yeah, that's about right. It's about 20 to 30. Yeah, it's about 30 to 40 hours. 100% Ribbon World. Ribbon World would be tricky because there's a very good chance you just can't do the run if you get bad luck. I guess the odds of that are really low because you would know pretty early on. Yeah, you would know. You would know fairly early. It's really just if you get a stone patch, and you get yeah, if you get a stone patch, you can probably do a Ribbon World. The main thing would be if you can't get enough stone to get past the lake that's blocking you. But you figure that out within like the first 30 minutes. So you're generally gonna be okay with that, especially the taller it is. He has done 100% Death World. It looks awesome. I very much do not like Death World, so that is not in consideration. Anything involving biters as the main focus is generally not a suggestion I take. The most I'll do is default settings, and even then, I don't really love that. I'm just not a fan of the combat in this game. But yeah, the water would prevent you from progressing since no landfill. Yeah. Fortunately, it's not impossible like late game, unless you got really, really, really unlucky. So you do no biters peaceful mode. So this run is doing it's not peaceful mode, but it's not technically biters don't attack you, but they're there. So this one is doing everything within the same rules as an actual 100% run. So that's any settings that you can do that allow you to get all achievements. So to make it that biters are not terrible, what they do for this is you turn pollution spread down. You still produce pollution, but it doesn't go to nearby nearby chunks. Isn't that actually a bug? Which one's a bug? Being able to get every achievement? I doubt it. I feel like it's been way too long. I don't think they care if you can get achievements without biters. Yeah, you can change everything except biter base size and frequency. You can change starting areas and um, you can change the starting area size and you can remove pollution spread. So you still have to get biters for like four or five achievements, I think. So you couldn't turn them off anyway, but you can basically make it peaceful mode. Yeah, I think I know a lot of people enjoy biters. I just personally am not a fan of them, and there's so many other people that do biter focused runs. It's not a niche I need to fill, so I just have, which is partially why I ignore it. Like someone else can do biter 100% Death World stuff. Like obviously people do them, which means I have no motivation to or no reason to. If nobody else did, I might, but just so someone's doing it. But yeah, we're that department is good, so I will just happily do the stuff that I enjoy instead. Plus, it lets us do dumb things like hand feed only, which I probably would not have done with biters, at least not initially. But yeah, those are the three main. Those are the three main burner designs. There is one which I think is absolutely hilarious, and it is the most dense design you can do. It just has a whole lot of downsides. And is not good for a 100% run because it is performance intensive. And this is what I call helicopter inserters. And yeah, it is effectively burner triangle mining. I don't remember exactly how to set it up, but the concept is the same. So I'm just going to be lazy about it right now. We do infinity chests at the end just to make things easier. We give them some coal. We give these some coal. And we unresearch stack size because I want to show why I call it what I do. So this is something you could do if you wanted to make it triangle mining. You can. You just add some undergrounds here and change the pattern a little bit. But when it's working really hard, These ones just kind of spin forever and they never stop. And sometimes they get caught in a loop where they just keep on spinning. And I just absolutely love it. It's so inefficient. It's not as inefficient as it looks. So the main thing is it's performance heavy. It only wastes like 1 to 2% coal though, because of how little most of them run. Best case scenario, I think worst case scenario, it's 5% more coal. As long as it's like a reasonable length, it's about like 2% more. So it's really a lot worse than it sounds. They're not doing the spin thing. Sometimes they get like caught in like a little loop and they just circle, which is why I call it helicopter inserters. These ones, they're like stopping, which is weird. Don't know what's different about it. But yeah, the main thing is they're just constantly passing coal through. But yeah, every now and again they get stuck in like a circle and it's really cool. And I absolutely love it. It also has another disadvantage, and that is you cannot place it on a patch with a hole. So if I were to place it here, this entire lane would not run. So it's obviously not great, except theoretically for small designs, it is the best approach in terms of resource density. Like if I were to make a small, like controlled, optimized base, I would use this. Of course, that doesn't work when you scale it up and you realize you need performance because you're going to be super limited. But yeah, the name came to me in a dream, and the design, I don't think came to me in a dream, but the name came to me in a dream, and I thought that was hilarious, so I've stuck with it. But yeah, it's a little bit denser, like I think 15% denser than this one. And if you add triangle mining, it's another like 10%. I really do not remember what the triangle mining looks like. Let's see if I can get it, because it's really cool. And one thing that's nice about this triangle mining approach, it is not, it doesn't have the balancing issues that normal triangle mining does because of how burner inserters work. So normally when you use an electric drill in triangle mining, it outputs on one side of the belt, right? So every single vertical belt here, this one is always going to output on the left side. So you get like a 2-to-1 ratio when you output. However, because burner inserters are asymmetrical, they don't have that same limitation, which is such useless knowledge. But it means when you do burner triangle mining, you get a perfectly balanced belt. Then you can just stagger this and voila, that's burner triangle mining. And then, as you can see, it uses the same kind of helicopter inserter approach, and it's really, really funny. That's getting fixed in 2.0. How do you know this? That seems like a very specific thing to have in a bug report. I guess there's a lot that they... Oh, I guess... Oh, right. Because the forums, someone will say something, they'll say fixed in 2.0. Right. Okay. I was thinking it was like a full-on announcement in like the Friday facts, and I was like, that's bizarre. But yeah, they do not output on the same side above and below. And I think it's because they're just more asymmetrical. It's a really weird thing to fix, considering the fact that it is objectively better in like every situation. There's really no scenario where you wouldn't want this. If anything, they should make it that electric mining drills flip. Just saying that from a perspective of being like the only person who consistently uses burner drills, this is a sad feature to lose. Even if it's technically gonna affect almost nobody. It doesn't matter. But yeah, this makes it that you get perfectly balanced. Inserters could be like that too. Inserters don't have that issue though. Unless you... Oh, you mean you want them to work like this? I have mixed feelings on that. That one I'm not sure. Okay. I think there's a lot of situations where it would be better, but it's one of those things that isn't always better. Whereas like this one is pretty specific niche. This one's a fairly specific niche to triangle mining and like nothing else. Which is why I think that one just is better that way. Whereas the burner inserters outputting on the other side would be so screwy to a lot of builds. Because like there are times like when you're building something, having them consistently output on the right side is super helpful. But then sometimes it would be nice. I mean, at the end of the day, burner inserters are so slow that it usually doesn't matter. You can just add a splitter on the end, but obviously avoiding a splitter is helpful. It is weird that they're the only thing that is that way. And if anyone missed it, this is how we're getting every... What the heck is this? Oh, I remember now. That's a mistake. Oh god, we're gonna have to fix that. Oh wait, this isn't the final version. Oh, thank god. Okay, there we go. This is how we're getting 20 million green chips. We're gonna have 15 to 20 of these. It's gonna be great. You should do 100% direct insertion only. When you say that, do you just mean... What do you mean? What's considered direct insertion in this regard? It's a terrible... Well, no, yeah, definitely. But we already do that. I'm just curious what you mean. Like, how terrible of an idea is it? That's the real question. Inserters behaving like this would make... Yeah, it would make a few builds a lot easier. Like, it would make burner designs, I think, pretty nice, because then you could have two sides of the belt you can output from, and you could have coal come from the left, and you could switch between outputting from top and bottom. It would be super useful. But then there's also situations where it would be annoying if you just have two output sides. You have to think about it. The main thing is having to think about it, I guess. But yeah, this is how we're getting every achievement direct inserted with the furnaces. Saves, I want to say it's like 20 to 30% better, but I think that's a little bit of an overestimate. Because I'm comparing to an outpost that also looked a lot different. But it definitely, the new outpost is about 30 to 30% better than the old design when we didn't have blueprints. But yeah, that's a summary of all the burner junk. Or some of the burner junk. I really like the helicopter inserters. I'm sad that we can't actually use them because they're, bad in terms of performance. Super, super nice. They're also cheaper. That's the thing. They're cheaper than a normal smelting lane in terms of resources required to build it. In terms of resources required to run it, it uses more coal, but it's, coal's not important. But yeah, this is and then this is the coal grid that I was referring to earlier when I said I don't have things be self-feeding. The one exception is these, this, and this. I don't think we have that many else that are self-feeding. Burner, everything is 50% of effective as electric speed-wise. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? I'm gonna go with no because it's a hard it's a hard number to compare, right? In terms of rotation speed, it is 4 times worse. In terms of mining speed, it's anywhere from half to 3 times worse. So either half as good or a third or fourth, even if you consider density. So if you just look at the numbers, a lot of things look like they're only half as bad, but it ends up being a lot worse than that. So let's say a fully upgraded burner inserter is about 1.6 items per second off the belt, which is not much. That's equivalent to 2 yellow inserters, but you could also use a fast inserter or a stack inserter. And those will be, this is 4 times faster than this, or almost 4 times faster than this. And this is like 12 times faster. We don't have access to speed modules and drills, which is why the mining speed is a little bit more skewed. So the belt density for burner inserter is really, really low. but also not having speed modules means it's like 40% lower or 60% lower. Not sure, but it's definitely about 25%. Stack inserter is equal to a stack of inserters. That's true. If I can put 12 inserters on something, we're good. Imagine AI Industries, Burner Labs, Burner assemblers. That would be terrible. It's actually not, which is why we're not including it. It doesn't affect anything. I can say that pretty confidently. Doesn't make anything harder, except for oil, which makes it marginally more annoying. Every other situation has no effect. Does not make it. Does not change the builds. Really, it means you have an inserter in place of every power pole. Doesn't really make a difference. Maybe performance-wise it does, but like let's take this build for example. It's now compatible with AI Industries, right? That's the only difference. It's actually easier to build that one than it is to build this one. So it sounds bad, but it's really not terrible. Science per minute goal is about 3 per second of everything, 3 to 5 depending on which part of the run we're in, but averaging about 2 to 3 if you're considering the whole run. But we need most researches by 8 hours, so we have about a 3 to 4 science goal produced, which is about 1 point, which is about 3.5 to 4 researched, which isn't how science per minute is usually measured, but it's the metric that matters for me in terms of research speed. The green achievement one is about 80 to 90% of my base. So, well, actually no, it's about. It will be about 60 to 70,000 inserters probably doing the green chip achievement. 20k inserters doing everything else. But most of my base will idle by that point. Are we? You're not the first person to say that. Okay, I need to look up the World of Goo soundtrack because it can't be a coincidence. This is the Factorio trailer song from like their old trailer. But yeah, I'll definitely have to look up the World of Goo soundtrack after this. Because yeah, I think you're either second, maybe even third. Averaging about 1 science per second as you will build outposts for 10 hours. Hey now, it won't be that bad. Outposting phase is expected to take about 4 to 5 hours. So, I mean, you're close. You're only off by a factor of 2. You just opened World of Goo for the first time in like 10 years yesterday? Oh, that's a fun coincidence. That explains why it's on your mind then. You know, I almost downloaded it yesterday because it's been on my mind since someone mentioned it. Because I've owned the game for a while. Is it fun? I played it for like 20 minutes, like 10 years ago, and then forgot about it. Oh, right. Satellite. I cannot remember what I was looking for. Okay, so these are produced. It's a fun puzzle game. Is it like a bridge builder? I know you don't build a bridge, but I feel like it. My understanding is that it has like the physics of a bridge builder. But it's more, I guess it's more like a tower builder, right? Which is effectively like a bridge builder. Yeah, okay, now the more that I say it, the more I realize there's not a huge difference. Okay, so radars, accumulators, solar panels. Solar panels are done because we need those for an achievement. Oh, right. Right. Okay, so that was just the sound of defeat as I realized we need to get a lot of resources through the base. Fortunately, that doesn't need to be clean because it's built by bots, but yeah. Yeah, right. um, this is essential. Underground belt inserter delivery. There we go. This is important. Yeah. Science per minute goal is hard to say because of average. Peak is about 3. Peak is 3 is what we're aiming for. Sorry, 180. I always say science per second. Is what I always think of it as, because that's the number that I don't know makes sense to me. So 180 science per minute peak during the middle for like 2 to 4 hours, and then almost none for the rest of it. Because once we get to atomic bomb research, most of our base can idle, and then we just kind of stop researching. But we have to stop researching about 3 hours before the end of the game, because we don't want to waste our base running when we could produce pure circuits instead. So that's why we're trying to get it done earlier while we have the performance overhead available. Now, we are producing solar panels up here, which is really far away. But it looks like we can go through here fairly easily, so that's not too bad. And then we can't... Can we cut through there? No, we can go through around. Okay, so that's not too bad. Now, accumulators need batteries and iron. I don't know if we have enough batteries. I feel like we do. If our goal is 3 science per minute, 15 launches... I think I want all of my launches in an hour. Right? Actually, wait, let's just do math. We want 1 launch every 360 seconds, based on how many RCUs it says we're producing. So if that's the case, that's 1 launch every 6 minutes, which means we need 100 accumulators over 6 minutes. How many is that? That's not a lot, right? That's 1 per 6 seconds. Which is very, very little, if I had to guess. Let's see. This makes... Wait. Am I off? I'm off. No, that's not right, is it? 100 divided by 600 seconds. No, that's right. No, 360. Oh, it's higher? We need 4 accumulator assemblers? I mean, I know they're fairly cheap, but that seems like a lot of accumulators. We need 4. You know, that now that I think about it, we also have 4 solar panel assemblers, so... Okay, it does make sense. Never mind, it makes more sense now. This is produced at the same ratio as these. Okay. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. Okay. So we have acid here. We have some spare copper here. We can make local batteries up top. That's not a terrible plan. The other option is produce... Oh gosh, somehow producing it down here. Also, do I need this? I still don't know if I need this rail. We're keeping it because I might need it, but I feel like we don't. There's a very good chance we don't need it. So yeah, let's just ignore this. Let's build around it, because if I use the rail, obviously adding it back later would be terrible. There's a good chance we might need it. I have not decided yet how I want to make my... I guess that's something else we have to do. Finalize early ore outposts. Because this train is only necessary if I do a building train, which I don't know if I need. And that depends on how I build the ore outposts very heavily. Okay, so accumulators need 1.5 batteries per second. I think that's 2 assembly machines, right? 6 assembly machines. Oh my gosh, wait. Is this right? There's no way. I feel like I'm off. I feel like I have a number wrong. It's 360 to launch a rocket. So yeah, that is 360 seconds. Or 720 to launch a rocket. That's 360. I don't know why. This feels very expensive. I thought accumulators were cheap. I guess they are cheap. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm just not used to actually needing batteries. Because like 1.5 batteries is like... It's nothing, right? That's like... Yeah, 1 iron and 1 copper. It's dirt cheap. So that's 1.5 iron and copper a second. It's practically free. It just... I guess it just sounds high because that's like all of the batteries I use for yellow science. Almost. Yeah, that's more batteries than I use for yellow science, I think. Which is why it sounds so weird. Okay, so we need more battery assemblers, which means we definitely need to produce it up top. Okay, over here is definitely a reasonable spot to do that. Because we have acid here, we have iron, probably some spare iron, probably some spare copper. I'm gonna reckon we have spare copper here. This should be a copper assembler, right? Yeah, this is definitely a copper assembler. Okay. So these consume 1.5 copper per second. This produces, well, it won't give me a number, but more than that. Why does it have no recipes? Oh wait, does it actually have to smelt them? Oh, they're disabled. This layer is disabled. There we go. Okay, 2.5. We need 3. Okay. So this would actually go here. And then I'll obviously have to double check to make sure we have enough ore for this, but I feel like we're good in that department. Let's see, what does this have? It's hard to tell. This has, we might just need a red belt somewhere. Okay, 11 plus 13 is a very weird number, but that means it has 6 furnaces left over on each side, I think is what that means, right? 11 plus 13 plus 6.5 is 18.5, 17.5. Yeah, we're good. We have enough copper. As long as this is a... As long as it's a red belt. It's not a red belt, though. Oh, it gets sideloaded halfway. Okay. So because we have a lazy sideload, as opposed to our normal sideload, that changes it just a little bit. Not a ton, but it does mean we can't fully saturate the belts. Oh, that's what this is. This is a copper belt. Yeah, that's fine there. It's not even, but it's fine. Okay. So this should have plenty. We can't use a full 15 per second, but we can use almost that, and that's just because we have lazy sideload. If ideally we would have a perfect split, but we're fine. However, we might have to sideload at a different point though because of this. Because now, looking at it, we actually only have about 3 furnaces spare here. So I think we actually need to do our sideload 1 tier later to make it better balance. So we need to figure out what layer this is on, which we were not looking at the right spot when we did that. Excellent. 4.2. I know the layers don't matter that much because we need to split it still, but might as well try to... Ooh, why did I delete this already? But might as well try to keep some tabs of it. Okay, so this is... Oh god, this... The fact that they're half and half is very confusing. So this is 12. Technically. I mean, it makes sense why we have the split there. This one won't work fully, but it probably works well enough. Because we had the split at the halfway point exactly. It's just unfortunate that the halfway point leaves such a weird number at the end. But I think I would rather have these work fully than these work like 5% slower. Because the difference, I think, is this working half as good versus this working like 1% slower. So yeah, I think it's the right call to move it. So that would be here. This is where I have the splitter. Then we get sideloaded here. Did it look like this? That uses the right half. I don't remember what it looks like. It definitely did not look like this, though. But I don't know what's different. I don't know what's wrong about it. But it definitely didn't look like this. Okay, this uses the right half. This uses also the right half. How did I split it? Did I use a prio? Let's load an older one. I feel like we're missing something here. I don't know what. If I had to guess, we had a prio sending to the right, so then that way it didn't matter. Because ideally you want to do a 50-50 split. And if you can split the halves, that's best, because then there's no conflict. If you can split one of the halves, that also works. One of the halves with a prio does a decent job as well. I don't know which one we had here, though. Absolutely no idea which one we had here. Let's see, it was over by solar panels, which were here. Okay, yeah, well, it was just the prio. That's why it doesn't look as clean as I thought it would. Okay, well, that's manageable. So yeah, this will make it that... Honestly, when the copper backs up, it probably will be fine. I would like to do an actual split. I don't think we have enough space, which is why we did the normal side load. Okay, so prio right, and we're fine. We don't actually need the input prio. Don't think it matters, but might as well have it. Perfect. It doesn't actually matter where this one goes, but might as well have them be pretty, especially since this is the same number of resources. Actually, I think it's better for them to sideload in the middle. Yeah, because if they sideload here, there's a chance that... I think that can do weird things with the inserter grabbing from it. So farther back is a little bit cleaner. Okay, and then move these to this layer, which is 4.2. Good. Okay, so this gives us more copper. So now we can build accumulators over here as well. Okay. Now iron. Iron we don't have any spare of. Excellent. Is there anywhere here that has spare iron? No. Well, okay, they all have like one furnace extra. That's the annoying thing. If we could grab like one furnace from each of them, we'd be good. But they're all using about 95 to... They're using about 92 to like 98.6% of the iron, basically, which is not enough to justify splitting off. So I think our best bet is to make a new iron lane. And we need 0.2 resources per second, which is nothing. Also, how's this one? Okay, so this one has a split at a different point, and that's fine. This one doesn't matter as quite as much. Yes, logistic bot list, but not construction bot list. And that's mostly just in terms of what makes it an interesting challenge. It would not be that interesting to do like construction bot lists. It would just be really boring. But logistic bots kind of simplify the designs way too much. So having the ability to do construction bots lets us make really cool designs like this that aren't feasible to do by hand. Because otherwise, we would just have this kind of base copied a billion times. Wouldn't be an interesting design choice. So allowing construction bots gives us a nice middle ground and also makes it doable in one stream. So it's actually submittable if I wanted to. But yeah, there's plenty of challenges that we have even with construction bots, so I think it works well. Especially with like build order, consistency, stuff like that. No solar after launch, then spam solar. Well, actually not spamming solar. We are doing the solar for the achievement, but solar is still kind of terrible. So there's not much of a reason to use it, because it would only really save like 1,000 solar panels, about 2 belts of oil, or 2 pipes of oil. How many is 10 gigajoules? Oh, I don't know. We don't need 10 gigajoules, though. 60 kilowatts? So what is that? 1, 2? Is that right? 166,000 solar panels? Yeah. Oh, that's what you mean. Oh, you didn't mean in gigajoules. Okay. It's like 6 solar panels or something running for an hour. I read that as gigawatts. I thought you meant like total energy. Yeah, you don't have to store it. You basically you just do a radar or two with like 6 solar panels around it, and it has to be on a separate grid because you can't have other solar power in that grid. You can't have other power in that grid being produced. So you basically just do this, and then it's good. And it doesn't take that much. I guess I could do the math, right? So 10,000 divided by 3,600 is 277 kilowatts of production, which is 46. I think it's not. I feel like it's not 10 gigajoules then, is it? Am I off by a zero? Is it 43? I don't think it's that many. Hmm. I think I added a zero somewhere. So I guess that means it would probably be only 60,000 solar panels. It's still a lot, though. You're new to Factorio and doing the and hunting. Yeah, it's not too bad. The main thing is just keep it on a separate grid. Like if you just do like one solar panel array and then disconnect it from your main base for an hour, you got it. What they do in the speed runs is just do like a little solar array off to the side. I think in one of the older speed runs they actually used it for power, but then they realized it wasn't worth the infrastructure. It does use a lot more than 6 solar panels. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was so small. Because they don't use it, they don't connect it to the main base ever, right? Like it's not like Warger's Solaris blueprint that was massive. Well, I say massive, but like an actual usable solar array. If you connect it, does it give you the achievement instantly since they've been producing the whole time? It gives the achievement as soon as the hour is up, I think. I think at minimum it takes an hour of being separate. But yeah, if you're interested, guides? Not a minimum until it's 10 gigajoules. I thought it stopped at the hour. It could stop at the gigajoule. I How do we test this? Because now I'm curious. Well, editor mode invalidates it. So there's not really an easy way to test it. I guess if I made a scenario, that could work. Because now I'm curious. I thought it was a minimum of an hour. But it could definitely go both ways. Both with the way the achievement's worded, it could very easily, they could just do it however they thought made more sense. Because when it says per hour, it could also mean like, they need a whole hour to check it, but it could also mean they just check when it's 10. But yeah, if you're interested in like getting the faster achievements, Jen, there are guides there that you can use. Nephrem's guide gives a lot of like general, not well, yeah, general like builds you can use. Once you've played the game more, at least. If you're struggling to get the speedrun achievements, those will make it a lot more manageable. Oh yeah, multiplayer also will make it a lot simpler, although less of a difference than you'd think. uh, Definitely having a plan is more important than having multiple people, I think. Am I on the wrong layer? Is that why this isn't working? Okay, I am. Okay, so I guess this needs to be done earlier. Okay, so we need to do a small smelting lane here that can produce 2.1 iron per second, which is 4 of these. Oh, this is so annoyingly close to not needing this. Anything less than 1k in hours in Vectorio equals new. Well, I wouldn't say that. It's just a different... Doing it fast is just a different thing to practice. Because I definitely started speedrunning when I was only at like 100 hours or so. Honestly, like half my time was speedrunning. Like 2,000 hours of my playtime. Well, not 2,000, probably like 1,500. Because I used to do meme runs on the same file. So maybe 1,000 to 1,500 of my hours were just speedrunning alone. Just one of those things you can practice. But yeah, just giving you, felt like linking the guide in case you struggled with the achievements. Because they're nice, but also very doable without it. Okay, so this is a lot of iron that I'm going to have to waste. Actually, wait a minute. there might be enough spare iron from all of these that we can get enough iron from the excess of all of these lanes. Because I don't want to have to get a new... obviously don't want to have to get a whole iron lane for this. But based on the amount of furnaces I have, it looks like I have an extra half a furnace from each of these rows. That's not that much. Yeah, so whatever. You know what? One of these is just gonna work at 80% speed, and I think that's okay. We're just gonna have to accept that, because I don't think I can justify an entire iron lane just to get accumulators. No. 100% is. Getting all achievements is. This is just my own personal goal, because I find it really fun. And I'm following all the rules of like an actual 100%, so no achievement, no mods, nothing like that, which is another reason we're not doing the it's another reason we're not using AI industries or anything, because burner everything is suggested a lot. Pretty much everybody thinks it's funny to suggest that, but because it has such little practical difference, and it would make it that this couldn't be an actual category, it's just not worth doing. Which side is the coal on? Inside, okay. You just love pollution and hate coal. Exactly. I just want the coal to burn. And the solid fuel. I did an estimate the other day, which was very bleak. Is a good way to put it. Which, well, I guess not bleak. Basically, the gist of it is I realized I need to produce like 5 bajillion coal per hour. I need like 3 full, not 3, why did I get 3? Like 15 full solid fuel lanes of coal just to run the burner inserters, which is very large. How can I make this work? I'm trying to like loop this, but it's not working that great. Like I could do this. This isn't the worst. You doing it normal max settings? Yeah, everything, pretty much everything within the 100% does. Except we're turning off uranium, because that just wastes space, and we can't mine it anyway. I would love to do a nuclear-powered burner build, but we can't. We can't mine it, unfortunately. Why did I think this would work? We need an extra space. It almost works. Yeah, they don't. They do not. There are mods, I think, that do it, but it's not a vanilla feature. This is such like a needlessly small build. I hate it. But it's fine. Why do I have 2 rows here? One of these definitely... Okay, one of these is an output, so this one is the coal. The iron. Let's mark that. Wait, why am I stealing solid fuel from here? It's super easy to just split it at the beginning. That's silly. But yeah, they don't accept sulfuric acid. It's a real shame. Because I think... Well, okay, I don't think nuclear fuel would be worth it for burner inserters. It's just so slow to build, and I have so many inserters it wouldn't be useful. But nuclear power would be pretty nice, because right now we have a third of the, I'd say about 20 to 30% of the power requirement of an actual run, right? Which is a lot for burner inserters, admittedly, but because we're not using nuclear, it means our power requirement is actually, our water requirement is the same. How did I beat Factorio without a mouse? With only a mouse? Slowly? Actually, it wasn't too bad. It was barely over 8 hours. You could watch the video and find out, but the gist of it is I used belts, and I used a lot of ghost placements. And water to rotate things. Oh, good. Good. 78 solar panels and 14 radars, no accumulators. Yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't need them as long as it's being consumed constantly. Okay, so what's 14 times 300? 14 times 300 is 4,200. Okay. I wonder if they have extra in there as like wiggle room. Nighttime. Nighttime exists. Duh. Okay. So you have to have extra to account for the fact that they only work at about, I want to say like 70 or 80% speed. I want Factorio average solar. Yeah, it's about a little over 60, I think, with the day and night cycle. But yeah, this works. This works totally fine. I don't need to overcomplicate this. I just wanted it to be a little bit nicer, but it's not always going to happen. I actually might make it vertical. Why can't I delete that? Ah, there we go. But yeah, I completely forgot about solar panel power. So yeah, that explains why those numbers are about 30% higher exactly than my estimate. Okay, good to know. It's not like either of those are expensive, so it doesn't make like anything. It doesn't make anything worse. Just means my estimate was off by a factor of apparently 10 initially. Why did I think it was 6? I really thought it was just so much smaller. Oh well. Doesn't affect anything. Just one of those things where I'm slightly curious now. Okay, so this is iron. Copper's down here, unfortunately. That's fine, these will work. So we can loop this back up, no problem. That should be fine. It's one of those things where like I want to make this clean and I want to save belts, but honestly, the amount of time I spend working on this for such a small effect is not important. Oh, I do need like 6 batteries though. I might use speed modules here. No, this doesn't work. I have to send the copper up way higher if I wanted to use it. If I want to use it easily. Does any of these have extra copper? Oh my god, they all have extra copper. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Okay, stage move. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is the new stuff we just built. Yeah, there's no reason for me to piggyback off these. Unless we're using it. Because these all have an extra quarter lane of copper, basically. And if we make one up here, it's just much better in terms of placement for the copper belt. And same price too, right? So, yeah, no reason to make it close. Now we will have to make this belt happen a little bit earlier though, because of that. So let's do stage move tool. And this needs to be moved to 4.2. Okay. So we just need this inner belt. This is going to be so confusing later if I look at that again. Okay. Because I want the accumulators to start earlier. Too late, you're already watching it. Nice. Yeah, I plan to make more. It's just been... I mean, for the same reason, my schedules have been a little bit late. It's been hard to find the time to do the YouTube videos, but I have started the script for a new one. I'm hoping that will also be done probably early June, unless looking through the footage takes way longer than I expect. Because I actually want to do this one as a YouTube video, but not the upcoming run, if that makes sense. I want to do the blind run as a YouTube video, and also use it as a, hey, I'm finally running this announcement type of thing. Because I think that will keep me responsible and force me to do an actual date. That's my thought process, at least. So it will be, I do want Burner Hundo to be a video. I don't know if the blueprint one will be, because I think the blueprintless one would just be more interesting in terms of like a short run. Just because you don't have as much, you don't have a blueprint constantly on the screen that just looks ugly. So that's the plan with that one. Okay, this is fine, right? Yeah, this is great. Perfect. Okay. But yeah, that's the one I'm currently working on the script for. Oh my gosh, I built these all on the wrong layer. I don't know. It's so confusing that this section is like partially on half a layer. I'll probably end up changing it so it doesn't matter that much, but it matters right now. So that's gonna go. This can go straight. We can have a splitter here. That one. Okay. Now we have all the outputs. This should have solid fuel and coal on it. We should have plenty of copper left over here too, right? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's also on the wrong layer. Hello, Diamond Dave. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So now we can do batteries. Awesome. I said awesome, but honestly, I don't. I don't have a huge vision in mind. Okay. Inserter, outserter. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. How long was the no keyboard run? A little over 8 hours. I think if I did it offline and wasn't streaming, it probably would have been like 7. But anytime someone asked, I would give demonstrations of how I did the early game stuff because a lot of people were interested in that. And I think over the course of the run, it was like an hour. An hour total of just repeating the starting point. I think if I ever do that again, I will definitely just clip it so I can have something on hand. Okay, so I don't think this works because of an output. What if I do, controversial maybe, but this could work. I don't know why I said controversial. What kind of person will have controversy here? That's not right. These are supposed to be battery assemblers. Okay, yeah. Because the way I was going to build it was this, but that doesn't allow me space to output. Okay. Perfect. Now we need like 4 more of these. Also this, we're just gonna delete. Someone remind me to fix that if I don't. I'm actually gonna put it as to-do list. Fix the straight GC underground. Because I need to place the batteries first before I do this. And if I don't, it's going to be missed for a long time. And this is a very important belt. Factorio with only a keyboard. I would love to do that one. It would require so many additional mods. Or not mods necessarily. It would require keyboard scripts. It's not possible vanilla. So it would require me to set up a bunch of macros. So it's not super high on my list because of that. Because of just how many modifications it will need. I think conceptually it's a really cool idea. But the fact that you can't craft anything is a bit rough. Otherwise, it would be very much on the list because I think the idea is really cool, and I would love to do it if it weren't for the whole not possible thing. But yeah, I imagine there are macros I could set up, or I can. I I don't think you can play a game with a controller and a keyboard at the same time. I don't actually know. If I switch to controller mode, does that break things? Yes. Maybe. Yeah, it disables all keyboard stuff. Because I was thinking if I could somehow find if I could mount my keyboard to a controller, it could work. Basically, I would just have to map it to a controller, and then I think it would be okay. But it wouldn't be done as a full-on like default settings keyboard. It would be a weird like macro. Can I self-feed the? Can I do sushi? I can do sushi. Should I do sushi? No, but I could. But I shouldn't. You're going to rebuild after robots. What do you guys think? I think rebuilding is usually unnecessary. It's obviously an option, but I think it's way more fun to make a new base and leave your old one. One, just in case you forget something, it means you don't have nothing. Can I move these closer? I think I can. Does that save on belts? Yeah, I think it does. But it means if you forget something, you can fix it, which is always very nice. And it just Plus, it's just fun, because you then have a memory of your old base, which is always nice. And if you just think about the scale of the game with... This isn't the pattern I should do. I'm realizing this now. But, like, if you think of the scale of your base pre- and post-bots, anything pre-bots is negligible. So it's just not necessarily worth rebuilding. When you're just gonna, you know, completely, like, quadruple the size of your base afterwards. I like that one. Just add new until it disappears in the spaghetti. But I mean, you can't go wrong with either. They're both fine ways to play. Because sometimes it is fun to just, like, look at your old build and see what you could do better. Because when you rebuild it, like, from scratch, you do get to, like, actually analyze your base, which is also cool. This is weird, but fine. Your old build was just a mall since you're doing Lazy Bastard. Yeah, that's that's basically all it is, huh? Does this work? I think this works. Okay, now we need coal, which we probably want to do on a snake, right? So that could go here. Oh, wait, we don't have enough space to do a snake. That's fine. Splitters are cheap. That works. Never mind. I was worried that the undergrounds would interfere with each other there, but they don't. Okay, yeah, that should be fine. This goes straight. Actually, wait. Can I do the splitter elsewhere? No. No, we have to have a separate row. These ones aren't shared. I'm happy to share them if someone asks. I don't have a place I regularly upload them to, but if anyone's ever interested in them, I'll happily make a link. Once I'm done with it, once I have the blueprints finalized, it's got to be public for sure, and I'll have a command for it. I just don't have the work in progress stuff, just because that requires me to upload it every day, and I am too forgetful for that. Well, not every day, but every time I work on it. Okay, saving one entity is usually not worth an underground, so I'm just gonna make these straight. I feel like this is fine. What is this? I mean, it doesn't matter, but I am curious what it is. Okay, so this is, I think, the bare minimum I need, right? Let's check the math again. I think I needed 4 accumulators. Okay, so this needs 1.5, but it's also overproducing them. So if we are barely making batteries, then we're perfect. Is it a good idea to change the direction of the main bus? I'm not sure what you mean by that one. Also, let's connect it to copper. Oh yeah, that's my Discord. Mostly use it for schedule announcements, but some people propose meme run ideas there. So that's a good place to propose them, so they are actually, like, officially written down, so I don't forget. It's also where some people post blueprint ideas if they have an idea for burner design, or if I want to share something particularly stupid. Going east, for example, and then moving the entire thing to go north. Oh, I mean, that would be fine. Especially if you're, like, making a new base north. They're not really gonna interfere much. But yeah, that too. If you want to do it, it's not a bad idea. Exactly. As long as it's something you want to do. That's the important thing. Okay, so this is copper. Should be working. This is actually not set up properly. I'm realizing I probably should double check too. Oh, it is. I just randomly guessed on the side. But yeah, we actually got them correct. There are a few designs in my base where it matters which side the coal and copper are on. Actually, most designs in my base. So I need to be careful to not just randomly click things. You don't have 2.0 for the idiot bots yet. They can't handle L networks. That's true. But as long as it's not an extreme L, you're probably fine. Because I'm assuming your base probably is, like, isn't that wide left and right. So they're not going to be taking extreme angles or, like, going across whole oceans. Where did I... Oh god, where did I place that? I have no idea where I placed that belt. um, oh, there it is. They can handle L, just not you. That sounds like an insult. Just when you read it out loud, it's like they can't handle you. Oh. Okay, I think this is good though. Perfect. Actually, no, that works. We have almost enough space. This is very unfortunate. Okay, if we shift it slightly up and to the left, and we shift this one slightly up, we still don't really have space for accumulators. It, can I speed mod an accumulator assembler? This is so close to having enough space. Okay, so this can go up. That much I know. So let's move this all the way up. We're going to leave a gap because I don't know which stuff is side loading. Perfect. And now this can go one tile over and it can go up. And actually, it can't go one tile over. What's this belt? Can that belt be moved? Yes, but it's not pretty. But it can be if I have to. After years and years of abuse, it makes sense they can't handle you. What do I do to my bots? Just ignore my space exploration base. Or any base, really. Honestly, this base. Just ignore what I do to the poor bots and we're good. Okay, so the problem is the fuel belt. If we can change where the fuel belt is, we can make this one tile less wide. And then we can fit it up here. So let's do that. For what is this design? It is for a meme speedrun. I want to get every achievement in one run in about 12 hours using burner inserters and burner drills. But it's designed like the actual speed base because it's fun. We can do belt weaving. Oh, that's a terrible idea. It would work though. Belt weaving is an option. It's not a great option, but it is an option. But yeah, I want to shift it down because that gives me more space here to work with the accumulator production. Still not a ton of space, but I think enough. Especially if we do like a sushi. Okay, so this is the iron belt. Okay, so this can obviously go straight through. This was an easy one to fuel. Perfect. This one can also get a splitter. That one's easy enough. Perfect. This one, easy enough. Wait, did I just say easy enough to all of them? Yeah, okay. Don't know why I thought it would be harder. If I put the splitter here, it's actually better. There we go. Yeah, I thought it was more complicated. A level 5 wizards. Master Sergeant Factory Person. These are some cool terms for Factorio. I like them. Okay, so now this stuff. This needs a red belt to go through. Or never mind. I see another option. There we go. This is that thing I was saying earlier. Don't let me forget. I'm trying to figure out how to get this underground through, and it's not too bad at all. Perfect. Okay, that's good. That is perfectly okay. We're still not getting batteries because they don't have coal, because I never actually continued that down. That's fine. I am building the wrong layer again. That's also fine. Well, this one's not fine. Stage move and then delete, I think. There you go. Line cook. Do line cooks make spaghetti? I feel like the types of factories, the type of restaurants that have spaghettis don't really have line cooks, do they? I don't know. Wait, when I think line cook, I just think like fast food. I guess it probably means other things, right? I imagine it's a much more general term than I'm thinking. I actually don't know. If I'm being honest, I don't know anything about cooking culture. Like, what the difference of like a sous chef is. I'm not convinced any of these are real words. I mean, they definitely mean something, but I don't know. Don't know how they work. Whenever we doing no spoon, people are telling me Duo is super easy to get it. Oh, for them. It depends how good you are at the speedruns. I've definitely seen... I've heard some people have a harder time doing it with a pair, but in general it is easier. But there's also some people who like weren't able to get it until they were in a guide. But if you know you can turn up resource settings and turn off biters, it's a lot easier to do. I think that's what a lot of people forget. And one of the huge differences is people don't know they can just not play default. The Steam achievement shouldn't be that hard. When they did it, they basically took the speedrun time and multiplied it by 4. I think they chose a very good time for that achievement, actually. Like, it's good enough that I think a normal player can get it without grinding too hard. They chose a good time for it. Like, it's a nice speedrun adjacent achievement that isn't like you have to be a hardcore gamer to do. Because they could also make it 2 hours now, to mean. You have a dead underground? Do I? What part of it is broken? It looks right to me. It's supposed to be sideloading the iron. Unless there's something else that I'm not seeing. It doesn't connect to anything? You're talking about this one, right? It takes the iron from here, sideloads it onto the battery belt, so that way it can send it to the accumulators. Right here. Oh, this is unfortunate. But that's fine. No, it's a very, I don't know if speedrunny thing to do, but it's a very specific it's a very specific thing to do with constant sideloading like that. Most people don't use splitters. I would actually like it to be on the other side though. Can I send it this way? Yeah, this also works. Okay. Yeah, okay, so this has the same effect, it's just reversed. It's just a little bit more space efficient this way. Okay, cool. This lets me get everything in the space that I have. Hi, Bep. I saw the ping. I'll have to fill it out in about probably half an hour. You should do the multiplayer one. Is it just a normal multiplayer? Or is there like a special event? But I mean, I have to get off too soon, so I probably won't be able to. Okay, does this work? It does. Okay, so we just need to get coal, which we can get from here. Now, okay, so this isn't consistent, but we can make it fine. So this isn't a safe design. This needs circuits. How do I make this safe? Okay, I think I know what to do. Well, okay. We can fit the splitter thing here, right? Yeah. Yeah, this will be fine. They don't have biters on, so no achievement. Do they actually have them off? Yeah, I guess because that one's done as just a speed run. Because yeah, when you do like any percent, you just have biters off completely. Even though it technically doesn't make a difference. Okay, so if anyone's wondering what I mean by unsafe, because I haven't talked about that today. Burner inserters suck. That's the gist of it. If you have an inserter going sideways on a yellow belt, it's usually pretty safe. It means if there's coal, it can usually almost always grab it before dying, even if you have something across from it. So if you have a full belt of coal going in, they'll say self-feed, they won't brown out. You're usually okay. If you have a red belt there in that situation, it's only safe at high density. Otherwise, it will have too many failed grabs that it will burn through all of its starting fuel. Now, and you have a similar issue when you have coal going away from it or towards it. So in this situation, this is fairly safe because it's grabbing before the coal can leave the underground. This one, on the other hand, on the bottom, is gonna have trouble. As you can see, when it has high enough density, it works. But if we were to add more coal, it's gonna keep trying, and it's just gonna struggle. No, blue belts are generally not used. Maybe in a couple small designs, I'm not actually sure. But for the most part, they're too expensive and they don't have a ton of benefit. And red belts are sufficient. I wouldn't say all of them use red belts. Red belts are common, but anytime for long distances. But as soon as you get the chance, they downgrade from like red belts halfway through. So they use as many yellow belts as they can. But yeah, this seems fine. Do we not have an output? Oh, there's the output. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I think this is good. We do need to do the logic. So this is input prio right. Okay. I think that's how we set it up. And this basically just makes it that none of these activate until coal is backed up on the belt. That's the gist of this. And by coal, I mean solid fuel. So solid fuel greater than 3. And then read belt contents. There we go. So now if they're low on coal, none of them run. Actually, it doesn't really matter for the input prio here. That's only matters if coal breaks at some point. There you go. So this just makes it that none of these run until this backs up. Makes it that these don't brown out. Again, small designs like this, it's not a huge deal. I don't want a ton of these throughout the base, but in key spots, they're very good. Am I going to use red belts in yours? We have red belts in certain spots. Mostly for distance, though, or for the ore. And then it splits into 2 yellow belts, generally. We don't typically have red belts for anything else. It's basically just long distance travel because it saves a lot of distance. It saves a lot of belt over a long distance and a lot of entities over that long distance because it's like 30% fewer entities or something. No, it's like 30% of the entities. Over short distances, it doesn't really save entities and it's a lot pricier. And it doesn't work that well for most burner inserters, like I was saying. So we use it in some spots. It's not in every design type of thing. It's like here, we'll use red belts here, but that's only because it's hand built. So we're going to use the red belts to upgrade it later. And we're only going to use it for the first half and the second half. So that way the resource density stays good. If we did red belt along this whole thing, these last few are going to struggle. We also use red belts for some outputs for distance purposes. Like here, we just needed to belt weave. Some places we just need to go an extra tile, so we use a red belt. But for the most part, yellow belt is superior because it's cheaper, doesn't cost that much more entity-wise, and it's way more consistent for the inserters. But then you can see, like here, we do use a short stretch of red belt, and then we split it into a bunch of yellow belts, so that way inserters can grab from it, like right here. And that's a good balance between red belt and yellow belt, is to just have splitters. We could have done this in pure yellow too, though. I just realized I undersized it, so we upgraded it later. Everything else was correctly sized from the start. Unlike this one, where I realized I was off by a factor of 2. Because inserters are really, really bad. Yeah, how many times are we at today? 3 or 4 times saying burner inserters suck. It's pretty accurate. Okay. So these are good. We just need to connect sulfuric acid, which is very close. Let's move this to the other side, I guess. I don't know why I put in that layer, but it doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter for testing things. Okay. Delete this. Oh. Oh, wow. Well, this is perfect. I didn't even have to move it. Wow. Absolutely zero thought went into that. Fantastic. I love when that happens. Okay. A little bit more thought has to go into this part, but still not a ton. If we can shift this over one tile, that would be nice. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Like I'll just do this. It really. Oh wait, let's do it this way. There we go. It's not that many more pipes. Might as well keep it simple when I can. The only reason to complicate things is when it saves like a lot of space. Like here, I made this more complicated than I wanted because I needed it to fit within a certain size. But if you can, keeping it simple is usually a good bet. Okay, we don't have power here yet, but that's fine. I can assume that these work. This is a fairly straightforward design. They all have all the input resources. These are all working. The only thing I'm concerned with is this, but I think that's because we sideloaded it early. Okay, so that seems fine. Okay, now we have to get this all the way back there. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's do something else instead. We also need radars, which I feel like radars we don't need a ton of, right? 5. Okay, I'm pretty sure radars are being produced down here. And they're going to be shipped up there anyway. So I'm going to be a little bit lazy and say we've done that already. And instead, let's see, where is it? Satellites. Okay, satellites. Connect radars after outpost. Okay. The reason is this radar, we don't need more radar assemblers. This is more than enough. We just need to connect it whenever we send this belt up here, and I do not want to do that today. This is so many belts. I have to get 6 belts through the base, which sounds absolutely horrible. So I don't want to do that right now. It's going to take a while. We'll do that next time. We're going to make future me suffer. We're just going to stick with the 1 belt for now. So we need to get this down to here, which should not be too bad. I think we can go straight down. We just need to go to layer 4.2. Sideload here. That didn't really save a belt, and it's not worth it. Perfect. And then we might use some red belt, because I think we're getting to a point where we're about to cross a 6 wide belt. Yep. Was not expecting to happen right as I got there. But if we can use a red belt here, it makes things a lot simpler. What layer is this? That was weird. Made it seem like there are conflicts. Honestly, now that I've redesigned it, I can probably fit a yellow belt. Nah, it's not worth it. When you ran the most recent underground through a belt, you never fixed the belt with the undergrounds. When I ran the most recent pipe through a belt, I never fixed the belt with underground. Which belt? You're talking about the sulfur pipe, right? See, nothing was broken there. This one, thank you. Good catch. I completely forgot that we did that. Okay. There we go. Now I can sleep peacefully. I don't want to use red belt here. I think I'll just do this. Okay, perfect. And now it is something we can send to the left. Spacing-wise, will this be good? Not quite. How did it get reversed? I don't like underground sometimes. I hope they fix that. I know they won't, because it's not really a bug. But I think I mentioned it in, I want to say the mouse-only video? No, I mentioned it in the invisible video. But basically, I don't remember the words. There's a direction and there's an orientation for belts, which realistically speaking doesn't matter much. But in the code wise, well, there's two different things it can mean. So I don't know which is which. I want to say orientation is which half of the belt it is, and direction is the direction the belt is moving. But I feel like that's off. Like if you look at this, there's 8 different looking halves, and Q-pick is based on what the end looks like or the beginning looks like. It's based on which way the underground looks as opposed to which way it's going. So if you like Q-pick this, it goes to the left. If you Q-pick this, it goes to the right. Wait. I forgot to Q-pick the first time. That's why it didn't make sense. So if I Q-pick this left half, doesn't matter which one, it's going to go to the right, even though the belt is going the opposite direction on this bottom one, which just makes building with undergrounds a little bit consistent. And if I go to the right half, now it's going left. So sometimes it means when you're building stuff with undergrounds, you realize you switch directions halfway through because you forgot that you Q-picked at some point. And one of them is direction, one of them is orientation. Both make sense. You can justify either one, so I do not know which one is correct. Okay. So we need a splitter here. Ooh. Well, no, we need a splitter here because we need a side load. And this is where that conversation from earlier about side loading on different halves of the belt would be nice, because we could fix it by just having underground output top if that was a feature. But this is fine. It's fine. It's fine. I do not know which half is which. Okay, so right half. The left half doesn't need to be changed. Okay, that affects what I filter first. Left half is accumulators. Okay. Seems straightforward enough. I might swap which one is which. Let's see, these have greater than 0 logic. It does not matter which side is which, though. Okay, so let's do accumulators left, which are here. Okay, now I'll move this logic so that way I understand what's happening. Pretty sure these don't have any logic, at least. I hope this is set up correct. I haven't checked on the rocket silo in a while. I might... Wait, if radars are going to come from the other side, it would actually make more sense to swap the radar belt, right? Unless I'm somehow input limited. I don't think I'm input limited. Nah, I'm not input limited. Okay, so radars can actually come from here. Oh, wait. But we still need coal. We still need coal regardless. So I guess this doesn't simplify much. It does simplify it a little bit, obviously, but this is very, very minor. Let's actually move this over here. We'll make this an underground. There we go. What are you doing to wave your mouse around to clear stuff off the belt? Oh, I'm holding F. As long as you're not in map mode, you can hold the pick up items button. If you're in map mode, I don't think it works. But it just clears around your cursor if you're in editor mode. Okay, perfect. That should be fine. This one's fine. Okay, so now these are disabled still, I think. Okay, a little bit annoying. This is on the wrong side of the belt that I would want it. I somehow need to figure out how to sideload radars. And I can't use an inserter like you normally would. Fun. Okay, so this... Oh, this one's easy to sideload, though. Okay, so that part's easy. And then we have... Okay, so now we just need to get radars on the other side. Now there is this possibility. This isn't a perfect system, but it does almost work. The issue with this is we can't read from an underground. So we can't have the safety logic there, which is actually very important. This is a lot is riding on this on this part of the base. I have no idea what this is. Oh, this is satellite counter. We're launching 16 satellites. Out of curiosity, what affects the way the inserter rotates? Depends which rotate button you use. One of them rotates clockwise, the other one rotates counterclockwise. I have space set to clockwise, R is set to counterclockwise. I think default is Shift R and R. Oh, I thought you were just asking about hotkeys. Oh, wait, you played the game. Never mind. You would know. You mean when they pick up and drop from the belt? It it's the close. It grabs from the close side if they're at a stop. It's like if they're fully stopped, I think the right side or the belt's left side is considered closest. So it'll be on like the right side. Because I want to say this half of the belt is always considered closest, which is why they drop. So I want to say they'll always try to be on the right hand of the arc. But if they're like moving full speed, not stopping, sometimes they'll keep spinning. And if they ever run out of one resource, it'll change what side it goes on. So I don't know if there's like a super consistent pattern. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it has to do with the side of the belts, I think, mostly. It's like for this one, the Cole got there first, so they were already kind of rotating in that direction. I don't know. I don't know the exact specifics. I know it's something to do with which side of the belt is closest, but there's almost like no difference. There's like a very, very small percentage of distance difference that does affect how it grabs it. We still need to figure out how to get radars here. Can I do this? Oh wait, this works. There we go. This is totally fine. Okay, so this is safe. And now we can easily do radars. So we're just going to do an infinity chest for now. Because I need an infinite amount of radars, clearly. Prior to the right. Okay. That should be fine. I don't think this is actually how it will look like, but this will tell me what I need to do. Again, we no longer need this end. We do need this whole belt, but we don't need it. Too late? Oh, you missed the window. I can look at the highlight later to see. See what time is it? 21:47-ish. Okay. Because now I'm curious. Because once I stop recording, I can just find it. Figure it out. I can't check it now because it's still recording. I don't think it lets me. Well, I think I can look at the whole VOD while it's streaming. It just I have to press stuff in a specific order. And I never remember what that is. Okay, so this is using solid fuel. These are using rocket fuel. That feels very silly, but I think it makes sense in terms of where the fuel is coming from, right? Yeah, and solid fuel is better in terms of not wasting it. Like this would waste about 100 rocket fuel, which isn't terrible, but there's no reason to waste it when solid fuel is literally right here. These use rocket fuel because they're feeding the silo and there's rocket fuel on the belt anyway. I'm fine wasting like 10 rocket fuel once. But that's because this isn't backed up on the belt. This one is very heavily backed up on the belt. But this looks pretty decent. These are side-loaded properly.
Okay, a little bit
Link in
annoying.
chat roulette. Well, clips are fine. Yeah, clips are allowed. Does it happen at the... Oh, the inserter's at the top. I was looking in the wrong spot. Oh, that's real weird. Oh, and some of them are doing the helicopter thing. That's the helicopter pattern I was talking about. With the whole, they just constantly spin because they're grabbing as fast as they go. Oh, maybe that's why they weren't helicoptering, because I wasn't grabbing from a belt. I was grabbing from a chest. So I would say that it's based on the fact that the resources are moving, so it's closer depending on where the belt is, or where the item is on the belt. And that probably is the reason to some degree. But the belt backs up like almost perfectly every time. So it looks like they're not backed up, but it's probably registered a rotation before the belt stops. Because like this one right here was rotating to a different direction. So that's why I couldn't reproduce it. Now what happened? Now let's see. Okay, so once they drop it off, they get into the pattern. But like initially they all moved the same way. Can I make it go that direction? I can. Oh, now it flipped. Oh, that one was weird. That one. Okay, now I don't understand what's happening. Now this one is very clearly grabbing for the right half. I'm gonna say it's RNG. It's not. There's clearly some logic behind it, but that's weird. Black magic. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. It definitely has to do with what the game considers close, but I feel like what the game considers close is barely visible to the human eye. Because like, gameplay wise, like things drop on the far side of the belt when you drop it. So in this case, like it's gonna be this side. But to just an end user, why is it dropping on that side, right? They're equally distanced, but the game considers that closer. It's one of those weird things. I don't even know. There's probably not even like, it probably doesn't even use the term close, but that's what people call it. Like anytime I get confused by like what side of the, or forget what side of the belt it drops on, someone always says like it drops from the close side or it drops on the far side. It's like, thanks. That's helpful. On the perfectly mirrored design, it drops on the far side. I love it. But at least I'm used to it now. I understand what it means. Okay, but satellite needs the radar. Far and right. Yeah. So see, nobody ever says far and right. People just say far. And it's like, thanks, you're not helpful. Yeah, I always remember as right. But is the belt right side? Initially, when I started experimenting with it, I thought they dropped on opposite sides based on the inserter. Because I used to think of it as inserter's right side, and I was very quickly realized that was wrong. Okay, fix the straight GC underground. I did that, right? Let's see. Oh god, where is it? Oh yeah. No, it wasn't that one. It was up top. This goes through, it goes up, and then it goes down. Okay, that is good. Very good. It looks awful, but I don't care. Bots do it. I feel like if this whole thing was shifted one tile to the right, I feel like this could have been a very, very clean design. Now, it's not a bad design, but it is a lot less clean than it could have been. Also, that's producing enough iron. Cool. Right? Actually, let's check. 2.1. Okay, cool. Yeah, everything is A-okay. We actually have more up here than we need, but that's fine. Okay. This is set up properly. We're reading the correct side. Good. Okay, so these are safe. These don't have that kind of safety mechanism. Of course, I say that, but it is dead. So this is one of the tough things about designing this. All of my safe designs, well, this was a bad example because this one is just dead because it doesn't have any coal. But there's a weird interaction between burner inserters and this mod. Oh, this isn't safe. How can I fix this? Anyway, there's a weird interaction between burner inserters and this mod. And sometimes when I change stages, the burners like just die. Don't know why, but things that are like almost almost certainly like 100% safe, I just kind of stop working. But yeah, that is something we need to fix in the mall. So we can make it. We can fix it if we want to use extra undergrounds. That's not a terrible plan. So basically, this isn't going to be smart beltable anymore. Or we do this belt first. Because this needs to be moved up. These all need to be moved up one. Do you think it's due to the mod or burner insert just haunted? You know, I think you might be onto something. It could just be burner inserters being haunted. I think considering they're like this demonic entity, that makes sense to me. You mean the mod creator didn't think that there was a single person who used burners? Exactly. Why did Glassbricks not consider me and my really, really dumb idea whenever he made the mod? Have a bug. Like, come on. This is targeted. Wait, what's happening over here? There we go. It's the only explanation. Ah. Also, Titus, while you're here, which one is orientation and which one's direction? When it comes to undergrounds? I don't remember which is which. I was trying to think of it earlier. If I had to guess, direction is the way the belt moves, and orientation is like left half or right half. But I mean, they both make sense. They both make sense either way. I guess the real question is what's direct? Do these use orientation or direction? Because then I could figure it out. If I knew what the normal one was, I could probably figure it out. Yeah, this seems okay. Turn on extended tooltips. What is that? Is that a F5 thing? But it does mute me. Extended. This one? Oops. Orientation east. Oh gosh, wait. That doesn't help me figure out which is which. Wait, oh wait. This isn't. Well, now I'm really confused. These are matching. East equals left. What? Sure, yeah, let's go with that one. Is it different? Okay, now I'm really confused. Because these match, but they're obviously not the same. Hmm. Connected underground. Well, these aren't connected, and these still match. That's why I'm confused. Otherwise I would be like, oh yeah, it's because they're connected. But now I've got nothing. But yeah, I like east is left. I mean, I guess east is left if you think about it in terms of which one's weird. Okay, belt's going west, so this is going east. Yeah, This is another thing that's really weird. Inserters and belts have opposite directions in terms of like what makes sense to me. Because I think, it should go in the direction of the arrow, like it does with drills and stuff. And I think even chemical plants, maybe. Which way does a chem plant go? No, okay, chem plants are also opposite. But yeah, some things have opposite directions over what I think they should, and it confuses me. Like this. This is going east, this is going west, but the arrows are going the same way. And it has like no effect on anyone. Unless you're Q picking a lot. Or unless you're not using Q picking. Then it's annoying. Like marginally. It's so weird. I just want everything to go towards the arrow. They matter a lot more when they're interacting with 8-bit. Oh yeah, I figured they do. But like, I feel like if they just reverse the standard for some of them, it wouldn't make a huge difference. Right? Like if these were both the same direction, and you knew they were the same direction, it wouldn't matter a ton, right? Inserters, I can see the justification for inserters being different, because it's like the front of the inserter is the side it grabs from. These ones I can't really justify. These ones being different confounds me. Inserters I give a pass. But yeah, now I just I have no idea what it is. But basically, in undergrounds are awful. Don't Q pick them. That's the moral of the story. Is this fixed? Okay, so this does use more undergrounds, but it's only 12 more undergrounds, and I mean, so I don't have to hand feed coal. Honestly, with the time I save not hand feeding coal, it probably is actually worth spending the extra undergrounds. And deeply analyzing Factorio for the super, so the super annoying thing that comes up constantly of my refineries being the opposite direction of my chemical plant. I hate when that happens. It's the worst, right? No, that one I don't mind. It's really just the inserter one that bothers me. Mostly because of smelting lanes. If you were to do an on-patch smelting lane, the inserters and the inserters and the drills are opposite directions, so you just have to flip it. While you have the debug tooltip, look at the name of nuclear fuel. Uranium rocket fuel? Is that what you mean? Or is there something else here that I'm missing? I mean, they're not wrong. Thank you. Yes. I need to change that button. I have it changed in a different a different save, but not on this one. Control. Let's add. Does F9 do anything? There you go. I feel like this might be fine. There we go. That's my mute button, so even if I'm holding control, it still mutes me. Sometimes. Well, it's really like the window for opening it, I think, is larger than the window for the mute button. Yeah, so if I let go of control before letting go of F4, it mutes. Because it considers hold. F9 turns off OBS. What do you mean turns off OBS? Okay. I wasn't sure if that was like a default one for like stopping recording. Because you never know. Sometimes they have defaults. That would be bad. Hello, arters. Welcome, welcome. Uh, this is weird. Why does that have a different prio? That's fine. I like these random things where items are named different. It's fun. There's a game I play, an idle game I play called Kittens Game, which is really fun. And there's a lot of things that are just like weirdly named in the code or have spelling errors that don't affect the player at all. But like it's like one of those things where like they use that variable way too much, so there's just a permanent typo, and it would break too many things to change it. So they're just kind of left in there because nobody sees them unless you're coding. It does make looking through the code very complicated if you're trying to just Google, not Google, if you're just searching the whole code to look for like where that word is mentioned. You realize you have to misspell it. Stone dash brick is infuriating. What's wrong with stone dash brick? I don't see the issue. Concrete plain. Plain concrete. How do you like your concrete? Plain. I don't know why that one. I like that one. Hmm. I don't see it. I'm just gonna keep that on. Doesn't matter much. Stone brick on on the ground. Wait, I wouldn't be able to tell. Okay. I can see how that's annoying then. These are all those don't have coal. Are they supposed to have coal? Obviously they're supposed to have coal. Probably not like that. Still need to design the coal, actually. We'll probably do that next stream. Or we'll connect the train, one of those two. But this is mostly what I needed to get done. I really need to get the silo actually finished, and I think that is everything we need for the silo. This will also give us something for Solaris, which we do need a splitter for that, which is very easy to do. There we go. Perfect. Now we have something that we can Solaris. That's not a verb, but the idea is still there. I could piggyback on this combinator if I wanted to. I don't think I need to, but I could. Honestly, we can hand build it. We'll have so much time. We could probably hand build this during the hour or the 3 hours we're spending waiting for circuits. And then radars, we can't connect them until we connect all of these, but at least now I know where the radars will go. Is this safe? I think because it stops, this is safe. If there was another inserter here, it would be unsafe, but because of how it's set up, it should be good. Okay, anything else that was glaringly obvious? Fix straight underground, perfect. Finalize early ore outposts. I'm gonna add more details. Trains or no trains, there we go. Now it'll be obvious what this means. Need to decide if I want to set up a train that's 8 long going to every single patch, or if I want a really long belt. They both have advantages and disadvantages, so I haven't decided yet. Underground belt inserter delivery, that's important. Solid fuel everywhere, also important. Literally not, I have not made a single refinery in our main base. And advanced oil, that's close enough to spelling it. Satellites connect raiders after outpost. After designing outpost train, there we go. Clean up the mall. Yeah, we could still do that. It's low priority. Iron lane and starter base. Okay, we don't need that. We realized our mall is already large enough. We don't need an extra 30 iron per second. Another fun thing, if you enable the resistance and look at the 3 different furnaces. Oh, our stone furnace is the best because that would be hilarious. Okay, let's see. 30, 90, 30. Oh my god, they are. I was joking. Okay, this one makes sense. Steel furnaces, electric furnaces relative to steel furnaces makes sense. Like, I feel like if you set fire to a computer, it's going to do a lot more than setting fire to a steel beam. The explosion and impact resistance, maybe there's some argument to be made. Yeah, maybe. Like, explosions are malleable, or steel is malleable. If you hit it, it's going to stay bent. But then again, if you hit stone, it breaks. So I don't know. I'm trying. So these are actually better walls than steel furnaces, is what you're saying. Against, actually, wait. Fighters can't deal either of those damage types, can they? I don't think they deal either of those damage types, so it probably doesn't matter. See, today is mass multiplayer that is taking priority over most streams, but seeing that it took 64 minutes on warm-up and only 1 out of person 4 knows what to do in South Science is making you pessimistic. That's fair. I tried. I've only done massive multiplayer once. It was very stressful. It was like a weird combination of trying to be serious and trying to be casual, which didn't sit super well with me because I'm totally fine with casual, but it felt. I feel like combining them is interesting. I wish there was like I wish there was like I don't. They've discussed it, but I don't think anyone's that interested. Like a more elite team, but then like a uncapped 8-player speedrun basically that isn't just open to everyone, but then that defeats the purpose. So it's one of those hard to say things. I guess elite's not the word. Practice team. There we go. Like a team that actually just practices a set build order all the time, as opposed to a hive mind, which is really cool. I love that it's a speed run. But I am curious how much like a practice team could push the run, considering 8 players can do like 55 minutes or something, or 57. Is Silo still the best wall? Can they walk through silos? And the real question are silos immune to flamethrowers? They are not. Bar is high after Spiff now. How so? Are more people like doing the run? Because that run was just like a chaotic mess, right? I don't think it got a record or anything, did it? It was just fun. Flamethrowers are also very sturdy. That's true, a flamethrower wall. And it's self-defending. What's this artillery? Oh, that has a lot of resistances. Why don't we make artillery walls? And you have some weird lags today. Oh, that's another thing. My internet sucks. Joining multiplayer games is always very messy. But yeah, I think I'll probably call it there for today because now I have to go take care of the dogs again. So that's it for me. We'll be back tomorrow with a hopefully normal schedule, and I mean it was like a 3-minute break, so I guess it's not a big deal that I had to take care of the dogs, but they'll be back, done taking care of the move, so I don't have to watch them as much. But yeah, that's it for me today. Space exploration tomorrow. I don't think anything's weird in next week's schedule. So yeah, space exploration tomorrow. And that silly, super cheap run on Monday. That's the meme run of the run. We'll probably do it 2 or 3 times. Because if it takes so long that I can't do it 3 times, I think I'd be very sad. If things are like 10 times cheaper, it better take like 50 minutes. 49:45? That's the spiff time? Wait, what? That's... Or is that a different time? I didn't realize massive multiplayer was that fast. For last half a year. Okay. I thought it was still like 55. I have never followed that one very closely. The last thing I heard about it was Spiff's run and the weird controversy over settings. You can watch Madman do Ultra Cube. Yes. Ultra Cube sounds really fun. It's definitely on the list. I think what we'll do is it's not going to be after space exploration. We'll do one on like Saturday, one on Sunday. We'll do them both. The main thing is I just have to finish the burner design first, so that way I free up like 2 to 3 extra streams a week. Because it would free up Tuesdays, Thursdays once I get back to those, and Saturdays, and Fridays once I get back to those. But until burner's done, we can't do a second side project. But Ultra Cube's definitely up there. Oh, what's up? We're wrapping up stream. And yeah, so I have to go away. But hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.